To go to the moon would cost perhaps $100,000 a pound.
Yeah.
The moon, it's been our silent companion for billions of years. But what if it's not what we think it is? What if the object we've always believed to be a lifeless, natural satellite is actually something far more complex, or worse, deliberately constructed? Before we dive into one of the most controversial space revelations of our time, smash that like button and subscribe for the deepest cosmic dives you'll find anywhere online. According to celebrated physicist and futurist Michio Kaku, the moon has become the center of a scientific reevaluation, one that has the potential to change everything we know about space and possibly about intelligent design in the universe. Let's rewind first. The most widely accepted theory of the moon's origin is the giant impact hypothesis. In short, billions of years ago, a Mars-sized object slammed into the early Earth. The collision blasted debris into orbit, and over time, that debris coalesced into what we now call the moon. Seems solid, right? Except, it doesn't hold up under new scrutiny, multiple seismic readings, direct samples from lunar missions, and modern deep penetration scans are showing serious inconsistencies. First, the isotopic ratios, the chemical fingerprints, in moon rocks match Earth's materials too closely. If the moon came from a foreign object, we'd expect different ratios, but that's not the case. In fact, some of the moon's materials appear older than Earth itself. That's not just puzzling, it's impossible under the current theory. Now let's look beneath the surface, literally. During Apollo missions, NASA conducted seismic experiments using explosives and remote sensors. What they found shocked everyone. When the waves passed through the moon, it rang like a bell, not once, but multiple times. These vibrations echoed longer than expected, as if they were reverberating through a hollow shell or metal-like structure. That's not something we'd expect from a natural solid body. Further scans showed irregular densities deep inside, massive cavities, strange material distributions, and structures that aren't random. Some of them even appear geometric. This is where things start getting strange. There are massive hexagonal craters, perfectly aligned ridges, and deep, sharply edged depressions that don't follow the chaotic patterns we'd expect from billions of years of impacts. Some of the ridge patterns form near-perfect geometric shapes when viewed from orbit. To many scientists, this isn't just weird, it's borderline architectural. Add to that the moon's electromagnetic behavior. Although it's geologically inactive and has no global magnetic field, localized magnetic pulses still occur, and they shift in response to solar activity. These fields aren't explained by known mineral deposits or internal currents. So how does a geologically dead object still interact electromagnetically? It doesn't stop there. Let's talk orbit. The moon orbits Earth in a nearly perfect circle and rotates at exactly the right speed so that it always shows us the same face, a phenomenon called tidal locking. Statistically, this is incredibly rare. On top of that, the moon is at the perfect distance and size to cause total solar eclipses, where it exactly covers the sun when viewed from Earth. Not too big, not too small, not too far, not too close. The odds of that happening naturally astronomical. Now here's the kicker. Many of these precise features are what allow life to exist on Earth at all. The moon stabilizes Earth's tilt, which maintains our seasons and climate. It regulates our tides, influences animal migration, and even has subtle effects on human biology. Without the moon, complex life, including us, might never have developed. So if the moon is so perfectly positioned, so intricately tuned, and so critical to life, then we have to ask, is that just luck or something more? Some scientists, including French researchers and more than a few space agencies, behind closed doors, are starting to whisper about an alternative hypothesis. One that sounds like science fiction until you start adding up the evidence. What if the moon isn't natural? What if its composition, behavior, and placement are the result of intelligent design? It sounds outrageous, but the data doesn't lie. During the Cold War, both the US and the Soviet Union recorded bizarre anomalies coming from the moon. These included flashes of light, unexplained radio emissions, and shadowy structures on the far side, structures that would appear, vanish, and then never show up again. These reports were buried or dismissed, written off as equipment glitches or atmospheric noise. But in recent years, digitization and deep data scans have pulled these anomalies back into public light. and they're not so easy to explain away anymore. Some believe these could be relics, technosignatures of a once active structure. Maybe a cosmic observatory, maybe a seed vault, maybe even a beacon. If that's true, it means the moon isn't just a rock, it's a message or a machine. That would change everything. And now, with advanced gravimetric mapping, neutrino scanning, and the proposal of deep seismic probes, we might finally be able to test this theory. But that leads to an even bigger question. What if the moon isn't unique? What if other moons, or even asteroids, in our solar system hide similar structures or ancient tech? This changes the game for planetary science. We're not just looking for life anymore. We're looking for architecture, for intentionality, for signs of engineering at a scale beyond human comprehension. And here's the cosmic twist. If this turns out to be true, then we have to ask, who built it? If you're still watching, make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss part 2, where we dig into the philosophical impact, NASA's new exploration goals, and why this discovery could rewrite humanity's entire origin story. If someone built it, that raises the most difficult question of all. Why? Let's say for a moment the moon is more than a natural formation, that it's artificial, or at least altered. What purpose would it serve? Some theories suggest it was placed intentionally to stabilize Earth and make complex life possible. A kind of planetary tuner, ensuring the right environmental conditions for evolution. If so, then the moon isn't just a machine, it's a terraforming tool. Others speculate it could be a cosmic vault, storing information, materials, or even life forms in hibernation. The cold, stable environment and deep crustal cavities would make it a perfect place to preserve artifacts for millions of years. Then there's the darker theory, surveillance. If the moon was built or repurposed by a civilization far more advanced than ours, it might be a watchtower, a place to observe Earth without interference, a kind of interstellar CCTV. Maybe it has always been watching. Maybe it's still doing exactly that. Michio Kaku and others believe these ideas aren't as fringe as they once were. Not when you consider how many ancient cultures describe the moon as something that wasn't always there. Some oral traditions speak of a time before the moon, a memory, perhaps, of a sky that changed. That may sound like myth, but when myths start to match new science, we're forced to take another look. This is why modern scientists are calling for a new era of lunar exploration. Not just another landing, but a long-term mission, gravimetric mapping to detect internal mass fluctuations, neutrino scanning to look beneath the crust without drilling, ultra-deep seismometers to pick up resonance patterns we've never detected before, all with one goal in mind: determine once and for all what the moon really is. If these methods confirm even part of what's been suggested, if we find chambers, artificial symmetry, or traces of metals not naturally formed, it would trigger the biggest scientific paradigm shift in human history. It would impact every field, from cosmology to theology. We'd have to rethink planetary formation, rewrite the narrative of the solar system, reconsider the nature of intelligence in the universe, and most importantly, ask what else is out there that we've misunderstood or overlooked. Because if the moon is artificial, it may not be alone. This is what many call cosmic archaeology, the idea that some planets, moons, and even asteroids could be littered with traces of ancient civilizations or engineered phenomena. Not messages beamed through space, but objects hidden in plain sight, dormant, waiting. This makes the moon more than a rock, more than a satellite. It becomes a doorway, a trigger, a clue that we're not the first, and maybe not the only, for now. The moon remains silent, but with new missions, new technology, and the courage to question our oldest assumptions, that silence might finally break. So the next time you look up at the night sky, ask yourself, what's really looking back? If you found this video mind-blowing, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and drop your wildest moon theory in the comments. Do you think it's natural, engineered, or something in between? We want to hear from you. And don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss a revelation like this. Because in this universe, nothing is ever just what it seems. Thanks for watching. Stay curious.